I enjoy tech, and sometimes I struggle to pass up on a good deal, and it is also Black Friday. And as a multiple-time Black Friday good tech deal survivor, I've decided to bring it upon myself to find the best deals on tech that are worth it at their full price, and even more worth it at their now discounted price. I'll be leaving chapters below so you can kind of just skip through it and not look at my face more than you need to. But the first category I'll be looking at are phones. Now, I don't need a phone. I definitely don't need a second phone. But some of these deals, man, if I had no self-discipline, I would have already ordered multiple. But interestingly, on Amazon, for an iPhone, you are not getting any kind of deal. And in fact, it's hard to even find like the newest generation of iPhones on there. But that brings us to the first kind of crazy deal I noticed on a phone that looks interesting to me, the Motorola Razr. It's one of those flip phones. Like, I know next to nothing. In fact, I didn't even know that this phone existed until I saw that it was $300 off. Like, now that I make YouTube videos about tech, like, it'd be so easy to convince myself that, oh, I'm just buying it for a video. And I even found this other Motorola phone, which again, I know nothing about, but it's $150. Part of me just, again, wants to buy that to test it for a video, because $150 phone, like it can't be that bad, right? But something I know that is not that bad is a Google Pixel 10, which is $200 off. I never see iPhones go on that type of sale. And if there's two types of phones I want to try most, it's the flips, like I mentioned, and also the folds, like the Google Pixel Fold. And that's still expensive for a phone to me. I can't even imagine what Apple's gonna charge when they inevitably make a fold phone. And actually on Best Buy, you can get the Samsung Fold, the newest one, for $400 off at $1,600. You know, maybe for the name of content, I'll just walk into a Best Buy with my full wallet and absolutely no plans, and that is a very dangerous game. But talking about Best Buy and also Amazon, Newegg, and B&H Photo, those are gonna be the main places I'm looking in terms of tech deals. Towards the end of this video though, I will be going over what I actually decide to buy, but I honestly don't think there will be anything phone-wise. But if you're looking to buy some kind of iPhone, like the iPhone 17, it is not the time to buy it, because as you can see, it is still full price. So no luck for Apple. In terms of phones, laptops and computers is a totally different story. I personally think, not that it's a uncommon opinion, but the M4 MacBook Air and the M4 Mac Mini are the two best deals for those types of computers on the internet for most people. Just like the quality, the reliability, the performance, the battery, if you go the laptop route, it's just so far ahead of most of the competitors for that price specifically. I did find some alternatives for Windows. I've actually selected some custom PC parts because I'm actually building one for my mom. She doesn't know how to use Mac, and it's just gonna be easier to go Windows here. So these are some of the parts I'm going with. They're by no means like an updated build. In fact, in some things like RAM, they're actually not fast at all, but the fastest thing isn't exactly needed. And what else isn't needed is this 3050 graphics card, which honestly, pretty decent deal, but I would only buy this because I would maybe make a video just putting it together, trying it out for like gaming or video editing. So like, actually, let me know if that's something you would watch. I know most of my videos are usually just like Apple oriented, but I like that stuff too. I just like tech, which is why Black Friday is very dangerous. But with all of these parts put together, it'll be a somewhat big footprint, might be a little noisy, will definitely get the job done, and it's under $500. But you know what else is under $500? The Mac Mini, which is quieter, smaller, and probably more powerful. But the difference between this and building a computer is, one, if you're used to Windows, it is probably just easier to stick with Windows, especially if you're just doing light tasks. And two, I haven't built a PC in years, and that sounds fun. But that's for desktops. Again, for laptops, the MacBook Air for $750. I've paid around $700 for Windows laptops when I opened it and the hinges blew out. But of course, with my really insane and amazing research, I was able to find an alternative, and that is the Surface laptop for also $750. This is pretty much the closest you'll get to a Windows version of a MacBook Air, and it has a little bit more storage, which is always nice. And for more of like the MacBook Pro type of laptops, there's things like the Asus ProArts, which is $400 off. Asus, I might have gotten your name wrong, but we gotta talk. I have sponsorship slots available. You have a lot of cool laptops like This one that has 2 screens. That would be so cool just to try out. And it's actually barely on sale. So that's why I need you to send me one for free. I'd actually much rather try one of the Pro Arts. Like if I had to buy a Windows laptop, it would probably be that or the Razer Blade 14 here, which is actually on a pretty crazy sale, 36% off. And to quickly hit on tablets here, you have like the basic iPad, not the Pro or Air, for $280. I've actually always thought iPads are fairly priced. I mean, I still got my 7th gen one. I just don't use it enough to warrant buying something like that. And just to please the Apple haters a little bit, the Samsung Galaxy tablet is $200, which is cheaper than the iPad and just a good deal generally. You can also get the newest line of Apple Watch SE for $50 off at $200. That way you could track your heart rate when you're like bolting through Best Buy, stealing the last TV from an old lady. It's pretty good. You can track your steps too. And finally, I found something where like I don't really know anything about or where it fits in, but it's a Dell all-in-one desktop, kind of like iMac style. Specs look pretty good. It's a 27-inch screen. Now related to that, kind of onto computer peripherals and accessories, I have found something that has just made me want to make such a stupid decision. There's this 49-inch OLED Samsung monitor back there on my desk. I have a 34-inch ultra-wide, which size-wise is amazing. Screen quality-wise, not so much. So this would definitely solve that problem for the price of $900. Even though I've always wanted a huge monitor like that, and it is a good sale, and it would be nice. I can't, no. Something else that kind of gave me like a similar reaction were these Sony XM5 headphones. Apple's headphones, the AirPod Maxes, are also about $130 off. And those were easier to say no to just because I'm more of an AirPod earbud kind of guy. I'll get to the AirPod Pro deals in a second, but just the default non-noise canceling AirPod 4s are $80. I mean, I know this entire video is about finding good deals, but that's a good deal. You know what's even a better deal? This right here, the AirPod Pro Gen 2s, which are the ones I have, are $140. Now, we did have to venture to Walmart for this deal, but if you didn't know, there are the AirPod Pro Gen 3s. A lot of mixed opinions on them. Basically what I've heard, noise canceling is better, sound quality is slightly worse, or at least different. So even though these are technically like a year behind, are they still competitive and in some cases better than the ones today? Yeah, but when I'm working, I'm actually not a fan of wireless earbuds. There's just like a slight delay when I'm doing something like editing. So I opt for these wired ones, the SimGot EW200s, for $36 right now. Like, I think these are a good deal at full price, never mind 20% off. Now, before I get a little nerdy with like cameras and creative software deals, and then eventually at the end go over what I am buying, I'm just gonna go over some, I guess, lifestyle tech, like this coffee machine here. It's just one of those ones where you click a single button and it just makes the entire thing for you. I just kind of love this type of tech where it's like, it's kind of futuristic, a little bit gimmicky, but it's actually useful and can save you time. It's kind of also like this toaster where it has a big screen, and I know like it has different levels of toastedness, and it gives you a display of what it's actually gonna look like. Like, that's nice. Like on my toaster, I don't know what a level 3 toastiness looks like. Like, there are cheaper alternatives that look like it has similar functionality for $60, 71% off, by the way. Now, probably my most visually interesting piece of tech I have is my magnetic floating plant pot I have at my desk. Instead of paying $68 for it and getting robbed, you're now paying $55 for it and getting robbed. Now, we all know someone that's losing phone cables, charger blocks, things like that. Black Friday is the best time to get them that gift, just in time for Christmas. I will be adding this to my cart. I have found that the Meta glasses with the little cameras in them are on a decent little sale here. I just don't know if that's a good thing. I've seen too many TikToks that are just unbearable to watch with people wearing them, trying to pick up girls, and maybe this is a situation where the less people going around with these, the better. And finally, video production equipment. The Sony FX30 is $300 off. The Canon R50V, $100 off. And even though it's a little bit older, the A7 IV is $700 off. I just think for cameras right now, the deals are pretty underwhelming, but there are other pieces of creative tech like the MX Creative Console, which actually comes with 3 months free of the Adobe Cloud, which in itself is valued at, I think, $210. This whole console costs $160 right now, but right now you can also get the entire Adobe Cloud for 50% off. Or a good Photoshop alternative is Affinity, which is actually free right now and forever, because as soon as I spent $70 buying it, 1 month later, they decided to make it completely free. This isn't really a Black Friday deal, I just wanted to complain about it. So what am I actually buying? Well, as far as the PC parts, I'll double check to make sure my mom doesn't want to switch over to Mac. Sticking with Windows might be easier, and I'll order all of those immediately. I'll also be buying the charger cables, and I want to fold for that big monitor so badly. And I mean, talking about folds, I want to try either the flip or the fold phones too. I want to try some of those Windows laptops, but I just don't need it. I'm better off emailing the company and begging to get one to try it for free. If you have found any good deals, let me know in the comments, or maybe don't, so I don't spend my money, but feel free to subscribe, and thank you for watching.